Alright guys, actually this is the first project that I'm doing formally at the new shop. I'm not set up, and I'm sorry it looks plain and all that, but yesterday I put the post leg vise stand together, and it didn't have a spring, so that's what we're going to try to do, is make up a spring for the post leg vise. This is a piece of a leaf spring. I'm sure it'll be just fine. So we need to get the forge fired up, and I need to kind of shape this into a spring that'll work with this this new post leg vise. That's our project. I was looking around while the fire's getting started. I have an arm, a spring arm from an old rocking chair that I really wanted to use, but I can't find it. I can't find anything yet. So here's a stack of a little bit lighter springs. I'm going to use that instead of this heavy thing for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't need anything crazy heavy, and number two, if you watch the video where I installed the vise, I might be able to un-aff something that I effed up during the installation. So again, this is some light spring stock. We'll use that, I believe, for our spring, and then what we have to do is we got to take a look at what we are really trying to achieve. Yeah, you can actually see that. So we have a little bend at the top, supposed to tuck in behind the yoke, and that's where I'm not sure what I can do because of something that I did during the installation of that post leg vise stand. But anyways, it's going to come down and curve. It's a simple shape. However, the purpose of the spring is to keep the vise tight and opening up. All right. So as this vise opens, hopefully I don't go too far now. That spring needs to keep pressure on that outer jaw arm to the point where it comes apart anyway. That's about it. So in reality, that curve that we need wasn't as flat. It's a pretty decent curve. It's got to fit the size of the other vise. 90 on one end, a curve, and then just a little bit to hold it in place. A little wrap around there. So that's what we're trying to reproduce. Shouldn't be very difficult. I'm not going to harden it. I'm just going to let it temper on its own. I'm sure that'll provide enough tempering so that that spring actually still works as a spring. That's just a guess on my part. Gives us some dimensions anyway. Alright, in order to fit inside that top yoke, I can only have about 1.25 inches in width. So I'm just going to bring that down for 3 to 4 inches, or maybe 3 inches, to 1.25 inches. Get it centered up, looking good. Not exactly centered. Let's see what kind of width we're at though. We got a little more to go. I'll try to slide that over because we're off to one side right now. Alright, let's just kind of clean this up if we can. Move it over if we can. A little narrow. Just trying to make it look. That's better. Boy, it's louder in this shop with all that steel on the wall. Alright, so I think we're at the thickness width we need. Yep, 1.25 inches should do it. So now all we need to do is put a 90 on it. And we're going to want to come back like this. So we'll put the 90 on this side, and it's only got to be less than 1 inch long. Alright, so that's the new vise right there. We'll use that to make its own extra piece. And like I said, I need not a full inch, but I don't think it'll hurt to be a little longer. I want it to be straight. And I'm just going to bend it to a 90. Done that to a 90. Much longer than I need it to be, but it's there. Took off a little. Yeah, way longer than it needed to be. But that goes in here, behind that yoke, hopefully. So now we need to just come down straight, and then just do a little bit of a swerve out. And I don't need to worry about thickness at that point. So we'll say straight to here, and then bring that curve out down to there. Before I go any farther, I'm just going to clean up this end. It's all jagged, it wasn't cut. So we'll just clean it up. Because we can. And like back here, these hammer marks and the thickness transition. Just clean it up a little. Alright, so it doesn't look too off. Actually, that looks good. I think right there. A little high on this corner. That's it. Perfect. Alright. And we need super hot. Like I said, I want a section of straight. That transition look alright. The section is straight off of that first bracket, which is about there. That's good. And then we're just gonna take this piece and just curve it out a little more than it is. Alright, so oops, I didn't get a whole lot of heat. That's my straight part. We're okay. Heat where I wanted it. You want that to curve to start up here. So I was definitely not getting heat where I wanted heat. That's for sure. So I'm jumping all over the place. I thought I'd move you back a little. Let's just put this transition to the side. I swear we're way too steep though. I swear we're way too steep. But let's go with that and see what we end up with. We're relatively straight. So now at this point I'm going to come back and just put a bit of an S in the opposite direction. Just to curve it back down. It looks wrong to me, but we're gonna see. Like somebody said online, Chandler does what he thinks he's supposed to do, not what he's supposed to do. Well, I'm doing what I think I'm supposed to do right now. Right or wrong. Alright, let's put that backwards turn in here. Somewhere here. Here. Oh, that looks pretty. No, hang on. God, it just looks too steep to me. I swear to gosh, it does. I swear to gosh, it does. It just looks like there's too much going on. But anyway, that S needs to start up the pipe a little farther. So we'll see what we do about getting up the pipe a little farther. What I got here, that isn't where I want it to be. If I had one to follow, but oh well. Excuses. Let's see what we can do now. It's gotta be way up there, I'm telling you. Way up here. Where I want it to start. Coming back, yeah. I can only have that. Almost looks good. And at this point here, bring that back. I think too bad, actually. I think we're not too bad right there. It just looks so awkward, so far out there. And I think we just need to bring it back. A little bit more bend in this spot here. Alright, let's hope it's the last bend. I said I want a little more in this area right here. Just to bring it down more. It's right there. Almost too much, almost too much. Alright, I think I'm okay with that. But at least that's what we're going to try to go with. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to zip this sucker off right about here. Again, what I don't want is it to be too long. I don't want it to be too long. But let's hope that this works. I think right in this range here. Right about where that last piece of scale is. Let's put a mark. I'll cut her off and we'll see what we end up with. Relatively straight there. Let her cool on her own though. Well, I still got to forge that in. We got to let this end cool. Alright, we zipped her off. Let's hope our math and everything is close. So all I need to do now is on this end put little I guess you call it concave. I got to roll these corners out so it stays on either side of the thing. Can we do that right now? Alrighty, so all we need is a couple little tabs or just a bit of a groove in the right direction. Gosh, you got that hot enough, didn't it? And that would be like this. So you do that right here on the step of the anvil. It doesn't need to be crazy. Somewhat symmetrical. Just enough to keep it held in. More horrible right there. Again, that's got to just sit here and not want to come out. But I think it's going to be down there too, so hopefully that's good. Have we twisted it all? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And then twist you here without a vise. Too snabby. That ain't too snabby. Alright, we're gonna let that sucker cool on our own. Again, I'm not gonna harden it. I'm hoping that just the air process will put a good amount of temper into it. I'd rather it's too soft and have to reforge it than too hard and have a break. And while that's cooling, let me take you to where we screwed up yesterday. So maybe I'll drop you down. Okay. So here's the, yep, you can see. So when I put the vise onto the stand, after putting the yoke in, there was a space here. Well, it didn't suck the vise in against the stand itself. I'm like, shit, did I do something wrong? I thought I had to move this over farther. Problem was that I had forgotten that spring would be behind this yoke, forcing everything over, and I'm not quite half an inch what I put in. What I'm hoping though is that I can pull this yoke out and either change my wedge or whatever to adjust for the thickness that I need for the spring I'm putting in. Let's just hope that works. Let's just hope that works. So I can, let's see, yeah, pull that out now. All right. If I did this right, I wouldn't even have to take the whole yoke off. I probably put too big of a lip on it. So we'll take this off. Just a little bit here. Well, at least that far anyway. And I guess there's no reason, as long as we don't stress it right now, no reason not to go ahead and throw this thing in here. I've got room to do it, right? And then push that yoke out. So the key right now is getting everything in and lined up. You gotta kind of remember that's hot. Getting this back in. Still having enough to put the wedge in. What the hell's the problem? Just doesn't want to go. So that's the end. And my wedge, which I'm gonna have to cut off about ½ an inch in thickness here, but it's going to work. So I'm just going to take this wedge and maybe even cut it off the top and just change my angle a little. But it's just a little too wide now, and I don't think that's going to be a problem. It's not right. This thing's fitting just about where I want it to at this point. I'll come back when this is cut. All right, so we trimmed that wedge down quite a bit. Let's hope that's enough to get in there now. Seems like it is. Great. I'm kind of happy with it. At this point, I think we might have achieved what we're after. Hopefully this will suck everything right in where it belongs. Yeah, I like it. And then as soon as this cools a little bit more, we'll go ahead and crank it down for the first time and see if that spring, again, if it pushes down and hits the bottom, then I'm screwed. I can lift it up a little bit here though if I need to. But hopefully, as we tighten this in, that spring will do its job and it'll bring us back out. So let me just wait another ½ hour, I'll be back. Alrighty, she's cooled down enough where I think it's okay. Do a quick test just by pushing on it and go all the way up without it snapping. Good pressure there, but is there enough pressure for it to work? Crank her up, she's doing her job. There we go, now she's slipped in. Alright, and opens right up. The spring's doing exactly what it needed to do. I had plenty of room. I was worried about this, how far down this would slide, but it didn't, you know, it's not sliding down very far at all. Providing just the right amount of tension to make sure that this doesn't slip. It doesn't take much for that to slip. So the thing cranks open, and I'm very, very pleased with it. And there you have it. Spring for a post leg vise on my new stand. You guys have nothing to complain about now. This sucker is even solid right to the ground. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. That's actually one of the first builds off the forge in the new shop. Acoustics in here kind of weird, but once I get all my stuff hung up and everything, we're moving slowly. I'm not sure what the next project's going to be. I still have I have the belt grinder on its own little cart now, so I want everything mobile, but that's not tricked out yet. I'm not sure where I'm going to put all the belts, whether it's going to be off of that or not. And still on the work table is the wire wheel and the 2 buffing wheels. Those things need a home, and I think that's pretty much it. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. That's how Chandler anyway, created a spring for a post leg vise missing a spring. By the way, if you're missing a spring and you install the vise first, remember, you need room behind this yoke for that spring to fit. So if you try to mount it up tight like I did by adding this piece, that would be a mistake. But we got lucky, we unmistaked ourselves. Hey, really, thanks for all your support. Join if you're not a patron, consider doing that. Keeps me going and will help keep me getting some projects out, and we'll get more and more videos. So link for patron is right about there maybe. Enjoy your day. Thank you.